Hello, everybody. We are here again on a Monday live talk, and today we're going to be talking about the growing pains of living in purpose. So, hello. Okay, and I'm finna invite our guests, you guys. Give me one moment. Okay. I just sent the request, so we're gonna wait. And I just see her right here, so hopefully she should be joining in soon. Hello, everyone. Hey, Jasmine.
Oh my
How are
God,
you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to my followers, and I'll come right behind you and introduce myself to yours.
Yes, ma'am. So, again, my name is Jasmine Ryans. I am an entrepreneur and an influencer, and I have a faith-based company that manufactures and distribute health and beauty products, which includes skincare, hair care, and men care products. And I have also been dabbling into the hand sanitizers as well, which is under my other company called Sand Supply, and that was recent since COVID. And I have written a book with a group of other individuals, some amazing women. And I'm working on my second one, but this one will be by myself. The first one was an anthology. And I am all things health and wellness, so I do have a fitness page as well that I am growing since I've been on this weight gain journey. So I have a lot of little things under my belt.
That's cool, though. I like to hear that. So, I'm Bernicia Carter. I'm a life purpose coach. And I help women of faith discover their purpose, and I help them turn their purpose into profit. And anything that's limited them, whether it's imposter syndrome or whatever that is a negative core belief, I help them overcome it. So that's pretty much what I do. I do have several different products, just like you do, and they're all on my website. So if anybody want to check that out, they can definitely go on my profile, click the link in my bio, and go to my website and see the things that they can shop. But yeah, I'm really excited about the topic we have today because like that's pretty much my whole life, pretty much the growing pains of living in purpose. So do you want to start with just your journey and how you fell into your purpose and just pretty much the ups and downs that you've been dealing with when you decided to pretty much say yes to God, I'm gonna do this, I'm all in with your purpose.
Oh, where does it start? But just recently, I just celebrated 4 years with my anniversary for Soul Tree.
Yeah,
Um,
congratulations with that.
Thank you. So I'm excited about that. Just it really hasn't resonated with me because I haven't really had time to just sit down and reflect on it.
Mhm.
But just going back and looking over the 3 years prior to and all the changes and all the mistakes and the evolution that has transpired since I first started has been nothing but God. And
Mhm.
just to be able to still be here and celebrate after everything that has happened in the last 2 years in itself is tremendously like it's truly a blessing for me and a testament to who God truly is. Um,
Yes.
but there were a lot of pains in
I'm
these
sure.
40 years to the point where it's just like, do you want me to not be a saint anymore? Do you not want
Mm.
me to do this? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out and just trying to make sense because this is no fun. I don't like what's going on here. And it was honestly between my spiritual journey and my fitness journey, there is so many similarities when it comes to what it is that I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to gain weight, and the only way for me to gain weight is to lift heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And the more weight I have to lift, the bigger I get.
Mm.
And the same thing applies to, I feel like, my spiritual journey. Like, God can only strengthen your faith by
Yes.
putting more weight,
Woo,
putting you
yeah.
in situations where he can test it and strengthen your faith.
Yes.
And I'm finally getting to a place, and when I say like recently, I'm talking about this week alone, where I've just accepted the fact that this is just a part of the journey. And I, like it says in James, I have to just count it all joy,
Yes.
because it just reminds me that he's still here with me, and he wants to see me grow. He wants to see me become the woman that I'm supposed to be, that I'm purposed to be. And some of that comes along with going through certain situations to experience growth. And we don't experience growth without change. And sometimes that change causes pain.
Yeah.
And as females, it may be too much information, but we always experience pains when we're transitioning into another season of our womanhood. When we're going
Yes.
from infants to adolescence, our body starts changing. When our chest starts growing, it hurts, and it hurts really bad. And when you're new to this life or being a human, even with your spiritual life, when you're new to being a Christian, you don't know what to expect sometimes. So you have to ask somebody that's been through stuff, like, what's going on here? Because I'm hurting really bad and I can't stop it. I can't control it. You literally have to live through it and get through it until
Yeah.
that part is over. So yeah, growing pains are definitely something that's, they don't feel good, but it's necessary.
Yes, and that's literally the whole reason why I said growing pains, because it's hard, but it's absolutely necessary. For each level God continues to elevate you, it's necessary. God has to make sure, he has to mold you to make sure that you're ready to handle that next level. So with me, when I was a child, I was a depressed child, and being in that state of mind, I was always trying to people please and be
Oof.
likable. And that started at a young age. So you could only imagine how hard it was just to like grow up and to find myself, because since I was people pleasing and trying to be likable, I was continuing to put on the persona that other people wanted me to be.
True.
So I grew up not knowing who I am. I never took the chance to try to discover myself.
Right.
So that went on and through high school, through college, and I got to the point like even in even starting in high school. When I tell you I was in everything, I did sports all year long. I was in clubs. I was in everything just because the teacher said, "I think you will be good at this. You should do this. You should do that." And
Right.
I never knew what I wanted. I just always wanted to please others. And
Right.
that was like a really bad foundation for me, because your greatest pain is usually your greatest purpose. And my greatest pain was just not knowing who I am, not knowing where I fit into this world. And like I said, that carried on even into college. Nothing is wrong with double majoring, but my reason for double majoring was because I did not know. One major I took because I was kind of interested in, and the other is because that's what people told me I would be good at. You know what I mean? And that in itself was just putting more on me. It was a struggle. I did different sports still, even continuing through college. I kept doing the same thing. And when I graduated college, it was even worse. Like when I tell you I did some of everything from trying to sell insurance, I did some of everything because I just didn't know where I fit, where I was meant to be, my purpose. This is just me trying to figure out what it is, not even
Yeah.
in the process of living in it yet. Trying to figure out where you belong and your mission in this world was just hard enough for me. And
Yeah.
then even when I got out of undergrad and I finally got a job, it was a state job, and I thought, oh, I'm okay, I'm making a little money, I'm doing a little something. And I was happy because of what the pay was. But when I got there, after a month or two, like I was so miserable. When I came to work, I just thought about the other things I want to do, starting a business, doing this, doing that. And then it was so hard to get out of bed, because anyone who ever knew me back then, I hated mornings. When I tell you I was that person, if I had to get up at 7 a.m., starting from 5 a.m., I had a 5:05, 5:10. I had so many alarms, and even then Even then, I wouldn't even get out of bed by 7. It was so hard. There was nothing pulling me. There was nothing exciting to wake up for, you know? And
Yeah.
that really bothered me because I did not have anything that I was excited about. And I was like the jack of all trades. I was good in everything I did, but I was never like great enough because I never said yes to anything. I would never put my all into anything because I never knew what I wanted.
Right.
So after that process, I realized as I got older and grown and on my own, I realized what I didn't want. Once I became alone, I was able to hear only me. I
Right.
was doing all these things. I realized what I did not want. Some people can know what they want right off the bat, but for me, I realized what I didn't want. Since I did so much, I knew what I didn't want. And then I started asking myself, what do I have to give to others, to the world? Like, how can I serve? And that's when you was talking about your spiritual life. Like, I really had to go to God constantly.
Absolutely.
Um, and I got to the point where I was dealing with imposter syndrome, even when I realized what I wanted to be a life coach, where I wanted to be. I was dealing with imposter syndrome because, you know, many of us have a little Moses in us. You know, when God called Moses, Moses said, I'm slow of the mouth. I'm slow of the tongue. I can't speak to these people. God, how you want me to do this? I'm not qualified. And that's how I was. I started questioning the vision that God gave me. When it started to become more clear and clear, I'm like, somehow am I going to be able to do this, God? You know, I don't see myself how I can tell these people X, Y, and Z and how to live and how to live a purpose-driven life. And I've been lost for so long, you know.
Right.
So I started dealing with the imposter syndrome, and all I kept hearing was, give it to God, give it to God, get close to God, want more of God. And the more I just release more of my flesh and get more and more of God, the more it became clearer to me. But it was hard going through all that process. And now I even understand, like you said, God put the weight on you. You have to go through some things, you know, to be able to have that certain anointing or to have your purpose or whatever the case may be, that mission. The reason why you look back and like, oh, okay, so I went through this because of that. You start learning the lessons that God was taking you through to mold you to get to where you need to be today. So that a lot of people, you know, when they call, oh God, you know, give me a purpose-driven life. I want to live in purpose. I want to, you know, do your will. And they don't understand. Sometimes you don't understand what comes for all of that because it's a journey. Like you were saying,
Oof.
sometimes you be asking God, this what you really want me to be doing and stuff. So yeah, that's how it was for me. I had to ask God, like, I don't know about this, you know, and then even then, when I was dealing with the imposter syndrome, like we want to get like we want other people to tell us that we're qualified when
Right.
God has already called us. And I was looking for validation from other people,
Yeah.
and that was the wrong, going back into my people pleasing, you know, and that was the wrong thing to do because you can go to other people and they can even make you more doubtful. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got the vision from God and God is telling you what to do, even though you don't see that, you have to start speaking, I am who God said I am. And that's how I had to get to the point where I had to believe in God, not just myself and my own thoughts, because I'm only going to take me so far. So I had to get to the point where I had to believe in God and for God to carry me where he said I'm going to be. And I had to stop it. I was praying, I was crying because I had a conversation with somebody and they were just negative. And I allowed that to be in my spirit, girl. And they were just negative. And all I heard while I was praying is to shut up. Stop telling people what God gave you. And that's all I
Right.
heard was shut up. But yeah, I was just going through the process. I just realized it really was a journey between me and God. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it was definitely a roller coaster and going through a lot of ups and downs in the process.
Absolutely. Same.
Yeah.
It was the same for me. When it comes to growing pains, it leads to a lot of people don't like going through it because it means loss and it means unknown. And we are a people that don't like going into something unless we know like who gonna be there, what's gonna happen, how is this gonna end up, like, and that defeats the purpose of having faith. Like, if you know
Yes.
how everything is going to turn out, if you already know what to expect, you don't need faith for that. Um, you have to see it before you see it, and when you have to act on it as if you already have it. And sometimes we get, I guess we're so traumatized and we haven't really accepted the pains that we've been through previously in the past. We don't really take the time to really learn from those like we're supposed to, and just release them. When we go through certain pains, we want to hold on to them and have hold like grudges against people, or feel bad and have regrets for mistakes that you made, but you're supposed to just take the lessons out of them and throw away everything else. Eat the meat and throw out the bones. Like, you can't, there's nothing left in there that you needed to get to where you need to go, or where God is taking you in your next level. But I have experienced so much hurt, and sometimes I allowed it to kind of taint my view of people that have come into my life who were, they may have shown signs of like other things or other situations that had happened in my life. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm about to dip out now because I see where this is going. And it's not always that case, but it's learning how to look through the lens of a healed individual instead of a traumatized person. That's
Yeah.
not for me. And letting go of my ego. Like, I really had to ask God to deal with me when it came to entitlement, thinking like, well, I'm supposed to have this. I deserve this.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to be going through this because I'm this and I'm that. And it's like, who are you?
Right.
Who are you? Like, sometimes you have to go through that pain to realize who you truly are and who God really is, and get you into a place and to make sure you check your heart. I really had to check my heart as well. I lost a lot of things because I needed to really focus on what really mattered. I was so, I guess, inundated about material things when I had nothing. Like, it really showed me what was more important.
Yeah.
And it helped me to not just grow spiritually, but emotionally and mentally, and how I really viewed things, and how I needed to learn how to be calm in certain situations and not react so rashly.
No, yeah.
Because I what did they call it, the Napoleon complex. Like,
Uh-huh.
I was getting angry so fast because it's like I would take a situation and I wouldn't really sit down and look at it as a whole and figure out what it is that I was supposed to be learning. Because regardless of if it was some situation that I got myself in, or just life having its own struggles for that day, there was something that I needed to learn in that moment. And I had to get to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm about to get upset, but I don't want to get upset because this is really hurting me right now. But I'm like, Holy Spirit, help me to get through this situation. Help me to know what I need to say, and what I need to do. And with certain situations and pains that you go through, it helps you to get closer to God. It really helps you to see Him in a different light as well. And it calls you to rely on Him a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really enjoy the sunshine if you never experience rain.
That's true.
And when you're going through those situations, you have to realize that you're just going through it. Because in that new season and that next level that He's taking you to, He wants you to make sure that you really enjoy it, and you don't take advantage of it, because you know there may be some pain coming next in the
Yeah.
near future. So learning to just take advantage and just really enjoy where you are in life, showing yourself grace. That was another thing. And realizing that you're human and you need God. Like, you need the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit. You need to really be intentional about growing that particular relationship, because people come and go, people will hurt you, and you can't just keep putting your trust in man. You have to put your trust in God. And a lot of times we go through certain situations to get us to understand that. Like, I resonate with you when you say you were a people pleaser. Like, that's my story. Like, I was always changing who I was to appeal and appease to somebody that was only going to be there temporarily. So
Yes.
now I've pretty much like wasted so much time appealing and appeasing to people that weren't even meant to be in my life. And half the time it was people that I chose to be in my life. God never told me that they were supposed to be in my life. So
Right.
there are a lot of things that, a lot of lessons that I feel like you learn more when you're in those painful situations than you do when you're on the mountaintop, as you will. And it just reminds you, and it's a reminder and assurance that God truly loves you, because he wouldn't spend that time and allow those things to happen, because he really wants to see you grow and develop into the person that he purposed you to be. And I was reading this quote, and it says, "It's usually the deepest pain which empowers you to grow to your full potential. And without without pain, there would be no change. Pain is meant to be learned from and then released." So it's definitely something that's necessary, like I was stating before. And now in the place that I'm in, yeah, it still hurts, but I'm getting to a place where I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason for this. And just taking the time to slow down and realize what the reason is for this, and really allow God to kind of reveal certain things to you, because there's no such thing as coincidences. Things happen for a reason. Like today, like I literally was trying to rush and get prepared for this live, and I got a nail in my tire, and I'm like,
ooh,
and it's raining. And I was like, so I'm out in the rain, just trying to figure out, like, so this is what we're doing today? I was like, okay, well, I was like, I'm gonna breathe, because it's not as bad as I am about to make it. So I went and go check, and it was in an area where I could get it plugged. So I was like, okay, I'll find somewhere to get it plugged. It literally took 5 minutes. Now, had this been last year or a month ago, I made a whole scene. I would have got stressed out, and I would have called you and was like, I can't do the live. So it also kind of marks moments of growth and development for you as an individual.
yes.
It just shows you how far you've come. And sometimes you just need those moments to get you to where you need to go, because your faith needs to be strengthened, your mind needs to be matured for where he's trying to take you. And that sometimes doesn't happen unless we experience that pain that we try to avoid. But if you're not growing, you're going to be stagnant, and stale water stink. So
Yep. Yep. And I really like just writing some of the things that you said, because I myself resonated with it, definitely with the ego one, feeling entitlement.
oof.
And I think that's a lot of people, because they feel like once they get the degree, or once they get certified, or once they do this one little thing,
Listen.
that it's all supposed to just come together, you know? And because I felt like I laid a foundation, or I did some of the work, or gotten the paperwork behind it, I felt like, oh, the clients are just going to come, or this is just going to happen. It's just going to take off. But yay, I had to let go my ego, and I had to understand the real work to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I came to the point where I knew what the purpose was, I knew what the mission was, like you said, I really had to heal from past trauma. I had to heal from certain things to be able to let God use me in the way I wanted him to use me.
Right.
And because I felt like I wasn't there and stuff, I started like questioning God, asking like, what's going on? Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it's not just, when you're living in purpose, it's not just a checklist of goals to just check off. It's more to it. It's like really being like really living in it, not just for social media or for other people, like really consuming yourself with it. And like, even if I'm telling other people to live in the purpose that God given them, what am I doing? Am I pulling myself closer to God? And I had to start asking, like, am I doing what, was it really enough? And the answer was no, it wasn't. I had to check my own ego. Like, who am I? I ain't doing nothing special, you know? And then the other thing that you were saying was showing yourself grace. That's a thing that a lot of us have to do, because I was hard on myself. Like, I was hard on myself to a point where like depression was a roller coaster, feeling down, anxiety and stuff, because I was just so hard on myself, giving myself these expectations and feeling like I'm not there, or I'm not meeting them, or I got a time frame. And showing yourself grace and praising yourself and celebrating yourself for even the small wins that we so quickly overlook. Because like, even when I told you about the state job, I prayed for a good job, because when I got out of college, the job, the pay that they was offering people was ridiculous. It was like you couldn't live off of it. And I prayed for a better job. And even though I got to that quote unquote better job, I still was not satisfied. Instead of saying, God, I thank you for showing me this or giving me this, or taking me through this process, I was still even ungrateful for that. Even though I wasn't content with where I was, I should have been grateful to have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the other thing, even it was when I was at church yesterday, we had a guest speaker, and he was talking about his glory is in the triumph. Pretty much, God is not looking to, don't get the glory when you're on the mountaintop. He gets the glory in the valley, when he takes you through things. Because if he don't take you through nothing, you don't understand that it was God that brought you out. Yeah. So him taking you through things that is out of your control, like you said, strengthening your faith and testing your faith. When he's taking you through those things in the valley, and we need to understand that God is molding us. Like you said, he's chastising us because he loves us. He loves us that much that he's chastising us so that he can give us that abundance. But he know that we cannot handle it right now. You know what I mean? And he's chastising us because maybe we're on the wrong path, on the wrong journey, or we're looking for the wrong things, and we're coping the wrong way. So God is chastising us so we can eventually come to him. Like you said, we need him so we could come to him and ask him, come to him and depend on him and lean on him, so we can figure out what is his will for our life. And instead of going our will, trying to figure out things our way, because simply of us doing that, we're making life harder on ourselves, So that was another thing. Like, the success is in the process, and people just want to get rich quick or get to the top quick, and they don't understand the success is in the process, the journey. And even though it's hard, and even though you have to grow and you have to continue to elevate, and God is trying, because if God gives you too much, it might take you out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Even when you think about these child celebrities or superstars, when they started when they was children, and as they get older, a lot of them either get on drugs, they get real messed up, because now that they've been handed, not saying that they didn't work hard for these things as a child, now that they've been given all this, they don't even understand how to obtain it and how to utilize it. And a lot of them get so overwhelmed with it that they're on drugs and they're doing this and they're doing that, because they didn't understand the process of really getting to that point and working for it. So that's how God is dealing with us. God is allowing us to go through our process, our heartbreaks, the growing pains, so that we can learn what the lessons that he's trying to teach us, and he can mold us to get to where we're trying to go. Because we're asking God, I want to be successful in this area. I want to be able to talk to thousands of people. Okay, you want to talk to thousands of people, but yet you have nothing to say to them. You have nothing to inspire them. So let me give you something. Let me give you that. Let me help you. Let me do that. We don't think of our trials and tribulations as, you know what, God is going to shift my life. And that's how I started thinking about it. When I started going through something, it's a song called Major. And it says, I can see it, I can feel it, I can hear it, I can't explain it, but I know that it's major. And every time I'm going through something, I'm like, man, God about to do something crazy. He's going to shift it. And because I changed my mindset,
Yeah.
on what I'm going through, when I go through something, I'm just so calm and relaxed. I just be like, okay, I'm like, okay, God, like, what you want me to learn from this? Like, what do you want me to get from this that I can utilize? Because, like you said, what you said is something about your attire and how you would have been a month or a year ago. But now, whatever you're going through, you can look at it like, you know, God, whatever it is, I'm gonna use it for your glory. So now that story that you told somebody today might help what you went through today, and you told somebody might help somebody else today. Like, man, she's right. You know, even though this is going on in my life right now, I'm not gonna stop it for what I said I'm gonna be doing. You know what I mean? Because you can easily send me a message saying, you know, I can't do it today. Whatever case might happen, I would have simply said, "No worry, it's understandable. Let's reschedule." But yet, you was determined to see it through, and you might help somebody else simply because of your story. And that's how God gets the glory from us. Because when we go through things, and we're telling the enemy, we're not going to let it stop us, and we go and give God the glory, and we continue on what we're doing. That's how we grow. That's how we elevate, and that's how we also help somebody else. So I loved all of that you were saying. And then also just stretching your faith. God really stretches our faith. And I get to the point where I'm at the point where no matter what God is throwing at me, it just, I have to learn. Like you said, I love when you said you had to see it through healed lens, you know? And that's what I was saying, how I had to heal my own, go to God and get my own traumas healed, and really started to do inner work, because it's not just about what we have on the outside. Had to really start to get it so I can see things from healed lenses. So when you are able to do that, and when you're going through a situation, I learned to not just react, but to sit still and hear from God and see what God wants you to get from it, how God wants you to go. And now, when I first started my coaching business, I just was going off of my own intentions, you know, doing things my own way. And when I gave my business and my stuff and everything to God, I literally can lean on Him. And He, like, it's crazy. Like, when I used to hear other people talk, I'd be like, okay. Well, I can literally lean on God, and I can see God guiding me. And each step I take, it gets clearer. I've never had my vision as clear as it is today. And that's only because I gave it to God and I lean on God. God is literally guiding me. And when I tell you, when I gave my business to God, and the day it came to me and I prayed about it, and I went straight to Instagram, I changed my bio, who I work with, and all of that.
All of
literally,
it.
Oh, girl, when I tell you, within not even a month, within weeks, the right people, God started putting me in the right connections, the right networking group, I'm getting more clients, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm just like, dang, God, that's all I had to do was trust you. Like,
instantly. It's just like, wait a minute, wait.
Right.
Hold on. Slow down, my legs are little. Wait, I'm trying to keep up, Lord. I thank you, but can I get some water? Good Lord. But and like you said, it's another level of growing pains, because it's like, okay, and that's why I was comparing it to my fitness journey, because it's like, this is what I asked for, and I'm seeing what I'm asking for, and my trainer was like, all right, we got to go heavier. Like, you trying to get to this goal, and you want to get bigger, you want to build, you want to be able to carry more, you're going to have to put in the work. So that means you're going to have to lift heavier. So you're going to have to get out your comfort zone. And I instantly was like, ugh. But then I was like, you're right. Like, I can't even get mad. But it's just like, if you're going to use that anger, channel it into something positive, because you know at the end of the day you're going to get the results that you were looking for. You're going to get what you asked for, what you desired. And I don't know a lot of people understand that concept, but it's like, you have to work for the life that you want. Like, he'll give it to you if in his will, but you have to put in the work. And what you were used to doing before may not work in this season, and you may be required to do more. than what you're
Yeah.
used to. So you're going to have, and that's strengthening your faith. Because he's going to take you in through certain situations, or allow certain situations to happen to make sure that your faith is strong enough to be able to handle where you're going. And sometimes we don't see it that way because we're living in now, and we didn't create ourselves, but he knows
Right.
our beginning, our end, and our middle. Like, and we have to get to a place of trusting him wholeheartedly. And it's a testament to our belief system. Like, what do you truly believe? Who do you truly believe? The world or the word? Like,
Yep, girl.
who do you
Yep.
believe?
Mm-hmm.
Because your life and your actions and your behavior are going to reflect your mindset and your belief system. So what do you truly believe? Based off of how you're living shows what you truly believe. You believe
Right.
that the world is your resources and your source, how you're handling certain situations. It all, like, you don't have to tell a person you're a Christian or you do this and do that. Your life should be a reflection. You should just be.
Yes.
Your whole purpose is just being who you're supposed to be. That's it. A tree is a tree. A bird is a bird. Man is supposed to be man, and he's supposed to just operate in his purpose and live in his purpose based off of what God told him. But you have to have that relationship. And right now, the Holy Spirit is really like tugging on people's hearts to get their attention. Like, I'm here because God loves you and he wants to save you. We are in the last days, and we have to realize that all this pain that we're experiencing is to wake us up and get our attention. To show you, like, I am here, I am still here, and I am who I said I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what else I need to show you, what other signs and wonders I have to send you, who I have to send to you. I don't care if they got their face tatted up and gave their life over to the Lord. Whatever it takes to get your attention, I will do whatever I need to, raise up whoever I need to, take you through whatever pains I need to take you through to get your attention. And a lot of times we have to experience those pains so he can get our undivided attention, because he knows for some of us, we're hard-headed. And the only way to get our attention is to knock us down. Like, you weren't listening to my gentle warnings.
Right.
You just passed by, you sped by him like it wasn't nothing. Like, you sped right through that yellow light. And I'm trying to tell you to slow down, take caution, and you just ran right through it. And now you ran into a straight wall. And that was the only way to get you to slow down.
Right.
I'm at a place now, I don't want it to have to take all that. I don't want it to have to take all that. I don't want to have to go through unnecessary or put myself in situations where I cause more pain than what I needed to experience because I was too hard-headed or too fast or too immature to just slow down and let God speak to me first before I make a decision. And this is with anything, like, I realized that there were certain parts of my life and areas of my life that I would give to God wholeheartedly, and then there were other parts where it's like, you can't go in that room. It's a lot of stuff in that room, and I think I need to dust a little bit. I don't want your allergies to act up, Lord. So just give me some time to, like, kind of spruce it up a little bit so I don't look at that. And he's like, let me do that. That's my job.
Right.
Like, I just need to open the door because I'm a gentleman and I'm not going to force myself in or force my way in. You have to want me to come in. And I'm like, I'm in a place now where I don't want my pain to be in vain. Like, if there's a purpose, I want to know what that purpose is. Because, like I said, there's a lesson in everything, and I just don't want to go through situations and I don't want to experience pain and it be in vain and all of it just goes away and it doesn't count for anything because I was being too naive, I was being too immature, or I was just neglecting and rejecting what God was trying to show me and tell me. So Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing you were saying about comfort zone is probably about the biggest thing for anybody. Um, Even with myself, like I hated taking pictures. I hated going live. My very first live, girl, when I tell you I was on there sweating, like that's how nervous I was.
I
Like,
hate going live, and I still do. Like I just had a meeting today, and my manager's like, "You have to go live all week." I was like, "Say what?" Go live and say what? So it's just like I really have, and like I said, like all of this is relatively new, and just learning how I'm in a place now where I know I have a lot to say, and it's just being okay with sharing that. Okay,
yes,
exposing my truth, because sharing your story requires a lot of vulnerability,
mm,
um, and like I was saying, like not allowing your past situations or circumstances or trauma to keep you from sharing that because other people took advantage of that. But now I'm in a place now, it's like I can't dictate or control how you handle the information that I share. This is my story. I can't change it. So if you don't like my story, I'm so sorry. I can't change it.
right,
Like it
right,
is what it is. Like I'm not sharing this for you to feel sorry for me. I'm sharing this to inspire and help
exactly.
somebody else, and
Hmm.
know that healing is possible for them and a new life is
Yes,
possible for them. And they don't have to live in that. They don't have to turn that moment into a monument, and just really ask God to reveal that lesson in that situation or what it is that He's trying to do with that after, because He's allowed certain things to happen. That it's just like, well, why would you let that happen to me? And it's like, yeah, that happened, but I'm in a different place now, and somebody else is probably going through that same situation and has given up on life, but you didn't.
right,
That's why that is important for you to share your story, even if,
exactly.
and it helps with your healing too when you share your story. Um, Initially, when I started sharing my story, it more so was just for me to get to a place where I was okay with sharing it. But now I'm realizing that my story and everything that I went through is for other people, that need to hear it. So I'm definitely uh, appreciating the growing pains because I don't know who in the future is going to need to hear that part of my story. So,
Right. Yes, and I'm gonna start just wrapping up my final thoughts because you said a lot here, definitely that I resonated with, and just the thing about comfort zone, and I feel like that's where even with I have clients, that's why I work on mindset so much, and I tell them to do something or I give them assignments and they just can't seem to do it because they cannot get out their comfort zone. And comfort zone is seriously where dreams go and they die because you just
yeah.
rather choose to be comfortable. And I even had to learn that because even though I did well with talking to people or whether talking to strangers or really being able to have them to open up to me and me to see the possibilities in their futures. I had to, it wasn't just, life coaching wasn't just about that. It was also about, there's a business side to everything. And
Yeah.
the business side of it, didn't want to do it. I wasn't a social media person. I didn't
Right.
like to be on social media. I didn't like to take pictures and be on live and do all those things, but I knew what was necessary. So I had to get
Yeah.
out of my comfort zone. And also what you were saying is how you had to do more than what you used to do. And remember when I was saying that I was like the jack of all trades, I was good in everything. I was good at everything, but not really good enough because I never put my all into it. And
Mm-hmm.
when I started my life coaching business, that's the mentality I started off with, simply because I was used to doing that. It was always a cycle. I was used to doing just enough.
Yeah.
I was just doing just enough. And like you said, when I really gave it to God and I was like in the season that I'm currently in, even now, that I have to do more than I ever done before.
Yeah.
I have to really give it my all. I have to put 100%, 110% all into this because this is where I'm at. This is where I'm called. This is what I want to do. So even changing that mentality, first of all, just recognizing that that is what I'm doing, that I'm pretty much
Right.
sabotaging myself. I had to
Accepting it.
recognize
Yeah.
that that's what I was doing, and then getting to the point where that's not who I am anymore. You
Yeah.
know, I'm becoming my truest best self. I'm becoming the woman who God say I am, not who I raised up to be, or the people I was around, or what other people think of me, or even what myself thought of me. I'm trying to become the woman God says I am.
Yeah.
So even with that, so and then the thing that you said also that was just really just connected, which I understand already, but just seeing things through healed lenses, like
Yeah.
that was incredible. Like really not just reacting, but taking a moment, not seeing things through your trauma, but seeing things as a whole through healed lenses. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I have got from what we've been talking about. And I just connected with you on so many levels of seeing that a lot of us, when we're in purpose, we go through the same growing pains. It might be a different story, but the moral of it is the same.
Yeah.
So you can tell them, your final thoughts and where you're at this point concerning your growing pains, and maybe give them some advice of what you think, how they can, get through it.
Um, it kind of broke up a little bit, but as far as like my final thoughts, one thing about growing pains is it's all about your perspective and how you really view it. And it all, like I said, goes back to your belief system, and what you truly believe. Are you going through these things because you feel like God doesn't love you, or you just feel like you deserve to go through these certain situations? And those particular thoughts kind of dictate how you handle those certain situations and how you get out of them. So
Mm-hmm.
really praying for the protection of your mind has
Yes.
definitely been something that I've been doing, not for just myself, but the people around me, because in this season, the enemy is really plaguing or playing on people's mindsets and their beliefs.
Yes. Just talking about that. Yes.
And how sin even got started was all in him playing on what Eve truly believed, and if what God truly said was true, um,
Mm.
and just
Mm.
questioning what she truly believed, because without that she had no doubt with what God said was true, and she was willing to hold on to that until somebody else came and
Right.
planted a seed of doubt. Um, and we have to be careful of who we allow around us and who are planting these seeds of doubt, even though they're very subtle. But anything that questions truth isn't true. Uh,
Right.
it's the truth. There's only God is the light, the way, and the truth. Like there is
Yeah.
no way, there is no other truth. And anything
Right.
that's contrary to that is a lie. No matter how subtle or how innocent it seems, there's no such thing as a little lie. It's a lie.
Yeah.
You have to keep rehearsing what the truth is, and keep that in your forefront in your mind. Um, that's why it says pray without ceasing. Pray, keep God's word at the forefront of your mind, especially when you're going through these growing pains. Um, it's That's when you need him the most. But it's like I said, it's just a reminder that he really wants you to rely on him, and he also wants to assure you that he is with you. But you have to put in the work and to really focus on that relationship and be intentional about growing and building that relationship and allowing him to strengthen your faith. Because if you're not growing, you're dead. Like you start to rot. And we serve a God of movement.
Yes.
And we're always growing, we're always developing. You should be striving to be better than you were on yesterday and even an hour ago. And really just taking that time to really reflect, and really learn from the day that you experience. I feel like we just get so caught up in going with the motions that we don't really sit down and reflect on our day and what really happened in our day and where our
Right.
minds really were in the day. So I'm in a place now of learning to be mindful, and practice being mindful and just really appreciating life itself, because so many have died and passed away. Life is too short to be focused on things that have already transpired and old pains and pressures that
Yes.
we're going through, and just celebrating that we still have a God that even when we kind of leave him on the back burner, he's still fighting and pursuing us wholeheartedly and relentlessly. And we should have the same attitude and the same heart, to be chasing and pursuing after him, and not the things of this world, but
Yeah.
the things of the kingdom. So that's my spiel. In my clubhouse voice, this is Jasmine Ryans, and these are my thoughts.
But thank you so much, Jasmine, for going on live with me today.
Thank you.
And make sure you put your handle down here. I'm gonna put mine too. So anyone who decides to just follow you, put mine down here as well.
So,
But yeah, and I thank you guys. Definitely you can come and check out Jasmine. We're definitely in the same boat with a lot of these things and the growing pains we've been through. And I really hope that we was able to touch somebody else and allow them to see that they can continue on and move forward, because we all are going through it. And because you're going through it, just understand that sunshine is going to come soon, that better is coming, that it's not just for long, and God is doing this for a reason. Just
yeah.
really understand whatever you're going through, God is doing it for a reason, so that he can mold you, so that he can give you the desires of your heart.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Jasmine. This was awesome. I really appreciate you coming on this live talking to me. And until next time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you.